Welcome to Small Business, Big Network, the podcast for small business owners who want big results from their networking. I'm Liz Drury, a freelance voiceover artist who knows that if you're not working, then networking could help. Simon Washbrook is the founder of the Popcorn Customer Relationship Manager, or CRM. Simon and Popcorn have been part of the NatWest accelerator program, which, as well as being great for business, was also great for networking. Thank you very much for being my podcast guest today, Simon.
Hi there, my pleasure, glad to be here.
Now, your current business helps small business owners to use a CRM, but what did you do before your current business? What's your business journey been?
So my business journey, I'll try and keep it in a nutshell. But my background is, if I start right from the very start, it's completely and utterly unrelated. I went to university and I studied fashion and textiles.
Wow.
So, yes, and not many people realise that about me. So I kind of got to there, but I realised by my second year, it was the last thing I wanted to do. Just wasn't enjoying it. It wasn't for me. But what they did do is, at that point, they'd kind of gone, most of us will be going out there and you'll be setting up as your own independent designer, so you need to learn how to market yourself. And that was, and it sounds very cheesy, but it's true, it was my light bulb moment. Because what's always fascinated me from a child is people.
Yeah.
Why people do stuff, what causes them to engage, etc., etc. So it was kind of, this makes sense. I get all of this, and why people, and it just fascinated about how I could put a service, do something, and people would engage with it, and they would really love it. So anyway, I started my career off and worked my way up. Started with a company called Anglepoise Lamps, which was the Queen has one of their sort of desk lamps on her desk. It's a really brilliant brand, but it was a small company based in Redditch, and so it was an amazing time there. I loved it. The people I worked with were brilliant, and I got involved in so many different projects, whether that was sourcing products, whether it was building the websites, whatever it was, I loved it. But I made the mistake with hindsight of going, I want to go and join the corporate world, and I climbed my way up and I ended up at a division of BMW Group. So it wasn't in cars, but it was a division that did CRM integration over there. And so I really saw the value of what CRM could bring to business. And this was working with sort of the big boys, so the likes of T-Mobile and people like that. And I really got the value of what CRM could do for a business. But I knew that corporate world wasn't me.
Yeah.
So I kind of went out there and decided to set up on my own, working with small businesses and thinking I'll help them with their marketing and we can help them get involved in a bit of CRM. But they weren't really interested. And what I did realise though as we got involved is everything a small business does is to drive sales. Doesn't matter how you badge it, they want sales from it. It needs to have a return on investment. But most of the marketing tools out there don't join up the marketing and sales. So I kind of ended up doing bits of jiggery-pokery, putting spreadsheets together for clients, and they loved it. They really engaged and saw the value of what I was doing. But from my point of view, it wasn't me. I didn't really enjoy that, and it was taking so much time. And I thought, well, you know what? I need to build a bit of software that does it all.
Yeah.
And I'd never built software before, so I kind of went in, I've got this idea, and worked with devs to build a platform, and that was about 8-9 years ago now. And we're on version, just about to launch version 2 of the platform.
Right.
And that kind of just joins up all your marketing prospecting activity for a small business in a really clean, simple way, so you can see the big picture.
Yeah. So how did you come up with the name Popcorn? Where did that come from?
Okay, so there's two answers to this. So you've got the marketing answer. The marketing answer, it's all about your leads just popping out in front of you and seeing it from a database so you can see the individuals and you know why they're going to engage and all of that. Then there's the real answer. I've done branding at various different levels with companies multiple times. I got the gist of what you need from a name and an essence, etc. So I knew the kind of thing I wanted. So I sat down with a bottle of wine, a dictionary and a pin one evening, and my wife and we went through names and we came up with the name Popcorn. It's perfect for us because it's got the right essence about it. It's fun, it's full of energy, it's kind of new, it's fresh, but it doesn't describe a service sort of thing that you'll remember and you'll really engage with it. And the domain was available.
Wow. I love the truthful answers. So tell me, for people that don't understand, what is a CRM? What does it do?
So for a CRM, in real simple terms, it's a place where you keep all of your contact details. Now, to give you an idea, a typical startup business will start using a spreadsheet to do that, and that's perfect for them. Absolutely spot on. Or they'll be using Outlook, or they might use bits of software like Trello or something like that. But basically, it brings all of your prospects together in one place. You can kind of go, that's Jim's details, there's his phone number. But as a business grows, they kind of grow out of that, and they need something which has more information, so they can kind of go, it's Jim, but Jim's been on my website, he's been looking at this, we need to send him an email, he's at this point in the sales prospecting line, we've had this many deals with him, etc. And so a CRM brings it all together and gives you that one page, really simple, clean overview, so you know who you need to call, why you need to call them, and more importantly, when you need to call them.
Yeah. Now, there's lots of CRMs out there, and a lot of them are huge and complicated and expensive. How is Popcorn different to those?
In simple terms, as you sort of say, there's loads of bits of software out there, but most haven't actually been designed for small business. They say they have, and they're very good at what they do, but what Popcorn does is we've made the process simple. So we've looked at what a small business needs. We've cut all the bells and whistles out to make it so it's really easy to use, really easy to understand, so they can actually just focus on getting on with their jobs rather than making a bit of software work for them. And as part of that, we'll kind of tell you, well, one of the things we do is we kind of flag up the prospects who are ready to buy for you. So not only are we sort of showing you that pipeline and visualising it all for you, we kind of go, hey, this person's ready for a call.
Yeah. And so, like you say, you've cut out all the bells and whistles. So what are the things that the other CRMs do that small business owners just don't really need?
It's really hard to say. But it's really hard and it's really easy to say. Because what they do often is they put every single shiny thing that a business wants in there.
Yeah.
So you'll have 101 features, whether that's we need a bot to chat on the website, we need this, that, everything. My mind's gone blank there for a second. All these things integrated in there, and it needs to do all of this stuff. Whereas what a small business needs is they need to be able to go, here's my contacts, and I need to put the information in quickly, I need to be able to quick overview of it. But one of the big things that these bigger bits of software do is they then become really complicated. So it takes up a lot of time, but more as well as that, they end up ramping the price up. So every time you want a feature, that will involve bolting on an extra module. So as you start to grow as a business, your costs for them just go through the roof.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I read in some of your marketing materials that you have dyslexia. How has that either helped or hindered you with Popcorn?
Yeah, so I always class it as a help, really. I'm kind of, again, another cheesy phrase, I'm kind of a glass half full type person. But from my point of view, what my dyslexia has done is it's allowed me to look at the world in a slightly different way.
Yeah.
So I've kind of looked, if we go back to when I was doing my marketing consultancy, I was kind of looking at it going, right then, there's all these bits of software, which one do we need to work? Which one should we use? I kind of looked at it and went, well, I saw the picture of how it was all fitting together, and I went, there's not a solution for it. So the dyslexia is actually, one of the things it allows you to do is it allows you to get really, really good at sort of helicopter thinking and see that overview of what's going on. So it's enabled me to problem solve it for me, and it's enabled to do it really quickly and really effectively.
Yeah, and that's great that that's sort of become your superpower in a way, whereas probably at school it really wasn't.
Yeah, school's an interesting period. I think for most people, whether you've got dyslexia or whether you haven't. But yeah, I think where I sort of really came, I did okay at school. I went on to university and everything, but when I really came into my own is when I set up on my own business, and when I kind of turned around and I went, this is the way I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I don't have to conform to somebody else's designated process.
Yeah.
Because I know I can get there. I can probably get there quicker, and I can get there more effectively.
Yeah.
And as soon as I was able to do that, it enabled me to race ahead, really, and I've loved every minute of it.
So tell me about your partnership with the NatWest Accelerator. What's that meant for your business?
Oh gosh, so we've been working with NatWest now. We started on the accelerator, it was probably about 4 or 5 years ago, on and off. So stuff when I had the idea, I just about to launch version 1 of the platform, and they've been absolutely brilliant for us. They've kind of really helped me to sort of clarify my thought process around certain things, and I suppose the big thing that you get from the accelerator, if anybody knows it, it's an accelerator for entrepreneurs. Sorry, stepping back, which helps them grow, to scale, to succeed, and it puts everybody together into this one room, and it is amazing. And the community you get from it is just brilliant. The minds that are working in there, it's unrivaled to anywhere, is all I've got to say.
Yeah, well, that seems like a good time to start talking about networking then, because that sounds like that's a really good network for you.
It's been brilliant. I'm still involved in it. We've become a mentor for the NatWest Accelerator now, so we help support the people on the program throughout. That's one level of networking. We also engage with different online networking groups. So what I look for is just be able to go and kind of engage with people, and it's about looking where the value is. So when I look for a networking group, what I'm looking for is, are the right types of people in the room? Are they looking to engage a two-way conversation rather than one of these the networking groups where you go to and people just pitch at you? If that makes sense.
Yeah. So which kinds of events do you like the best? Do you like to do the online ones? Do you like to meet people in person?
I love meeting in person, but time constraints now mean that it's harder to do. So I do the occasional one. One of the ones we do there's a couple of ones we do which I'll give a shout out to actually.
Yeah.
You've got Talk Networking, which is where we originally met.
Yes.
They're absolutely fantastic. So give Felicity a shout there. And you've also got the Business Growth Network, which is Mark Linton. He does some really interesting meetings. So they're two meetings that I attend quite regularly, and I know the team are as well.
Yeah. And so what difference do you think networking makes to your business?
Twofold, really. So there's the obvious one of sales. Sales is the reason going back to the start, we're a small business. When we go to an event, it needs to have return on investment, so it'll do that for me. But it's the sort of softer side of it as well as what it gets. It's the people you meet and the conversations you have which are unsales related. So it's where you can sort of go and have a conversation with people you know and trust, and you can sort of go, I'm looking at doing this, what do you think to this message? Or you've got a group of people who are semi-confidants who you can turn around to, you can trial and test ideas. So it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. So how much time would you say that you spend on networking for your business?
At the moment, because we've got the launch of the new version coming up, I'm not doing as much. I've sort of stepped back. But moving forwards, it's going to become more of an active part for us. So I'd probably say we'd be spending, as myself and the team, we'll be spending about half a day, 3/4 of a day a week, doing different networking events.
Yeah. So it's clearly something that you feel is important.
Definitely. It's part of our market strategy moving forwards.
Yeah. So what would you say to people who are maybe new in business and feeling a bit nervous about networking? What would you say to them?
Do it. Very simple. What have you got to lose? That everybody, if you're nervous about doing it from the reason of, I've never done networking before, just think about it and go, every single person in that room has been in that place.
Yeah.
Every single person has walked in to a room and gone, who do I speak to? But what you've got to realise is because of that, everybody in the room is receptive, everybody's supportive. If they see someone's a bit nervous, someone can put their arm around you and take you under their wing.
Yeah.
It's just a wonderful environment to be involved in. And if it's not, move on, find a group that is right, but there's some amazing groups out there.
That's right. I mean, there's lots of different networks and not every network is right for every person.
Exactly. It's about finding the right fit for you.
Yeah. So when you go networking, obviously you start to meet lots of different people. So how can popcorn help with the connections that you're making through networking?
So quite very simple actually. So when you're meeting all these people and you're having all of these conversations, your head can only hold so much information.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter whether you're big, you're small, whatever it is, as you start to have more conversations, you're going to start forgetting details. And when you start to forget details and information and people saying, give me a call in 6 months, or I went on holiday last week. You're going to start losing sales and missing opportunities. So what Popcorn does is it gives you a place to put all of those in and visualize it, so you actually never forget to follow up on somebody, and you always get you never forget to follow up on somebody. You always win more opportunities, and typically. I do like my stats, but typically a small business that doesn't use CRM, which has been established, will be losing £7,000 a month, which is a scary figure, by not using CRM, because as I say, they forget, they miss, they lose opportunities because of it. So what I would say to somebody, especially if we're talking about smaller businesses, start using it. Find a system that's right for you, and just start using it. And even if it's just put the information in, and so you've got a repository to go in there and go, I had a meeting with them on this date and this is what was said.
Yeah.
You can come back and reference it. And then as you start to value it, as you start engaging with it more, it will become an absolutely invaluable tool to you. As I say, it will generate you loads of money.
Yeah.
I can assure you of that.
Yeah. And we all need some more of that at the moment, don't we, with the way the prices are going?
Indeed.
Is there any sort of particular business sector that seems to be using Popcorn, or have you got all sorts of different businesses using it?
Sector-wise, we're very, very horizontal. So if I give you an idea, the most obscure one we've got a one-man charity looking after a church steeple.
Oh, wow.
That uses us. So it's very, very, very small. And on the largest scale, at one point we were engaging with LV, the insurance company. But our target audience, if we were to describe them, it's really easy. So it's people that have been using loads of bits of software, probably as I've mentioned earlier, sort of like spreadsheets, Trello, all those sort of bits of software, but data is all over the place. Because when they're at that stage, they are losing sales and missing opportunities, and they kind of go, I need to do something. Mm-hmm. But what they tend to do then is they then go, right, I'm going to go and invest in... and they use the phrase of, I'm going to do this properly because I've not been doing it properly, and they go and jump over to something like HubSpot or Salesforce or Zoho, which are brilliant bits of kit, but they aren't designed for small business.
Yeah.
They're actually enterprise bits of software which have a small business offering, and what that means is they have so many features and stuff thrown at you, you end up going to paralysis.
Yes.
And I think it's this again. I'm going statty again. 72% of small businesses give up using it because it's just overwhelmed, or too clunky or too expensive. So what I would say is, if you're at either of those stages where your data's all over the place, or if you're using a system which you're just not using, that's the perfect fit for us, because we kind of really simple, we're really visual, and we get the job done. We've got some return on investment of £185 for every pound spent, and we increase conversion rates by 200%. So we do all right.
Sounds like it. So if people want to find out more about you and about Popcorn, what's the best place for them to find you?
So what I would say is, if you go to our website, which is popcorncrm.co.uk, that's popcorncrm.co.uk, I go and check that out. If you're just testing the waters on the CRM front, we've got a great package which is £9. For all our packages, there's no contracts, no set of fees, no hidden fees. But the £9 package is a place where you can just go and start dropping your contacts in. You can create a pipeline so you can see exactly where everybody is in your process, and we'll give you loads of free training to get you up and running on there.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for being my guest, Simon, and good luck with the launch of version 2 of Popcorn.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening to Small Business, Big Network. If you found this podcast useful, please do rate, review and subscribe. And don't forget to share it with the rest of your network too.